Hey beautiful soul, welcome to today's pick a card reading and healing transmission. My channel is a safe space for gifted intuitives like yourself who are looking for healing and clarity on your path to personal and spiritual growth. If we haven't met yet, my name is Alana. I'm a multi-clair channel and also a mentor and guide for intuitives. I'm passionate about empowering you and helping you live a life that's in alignment with your natural essence. If this resonates with you, then definitely subscribe and welcome to the community. So today I'm going to be channeling a message from your inner child. I'm also going to be teaching you tools and ways that you can connect further and build that relationship with that part of you, your inner child. And then of course we've got our oracle card, which we'll wrap up today's session with. So let's go ahead and choose your card. So we've got 4 cards for you to choose from today. Make sure you choose with your intuition, and at the end, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your insights and what you got from today's transmission. Time lapses are in the description below, so you can skip right ahead and straight to your reading. Okay, so group number 1. Let's get right into it and talk about the theme of what your inner child is coming up with today. And it is support and security. I'm seeing a lot of you are working towards putting things in place. So putting things in place for your financial well-being, for your physical well-being, even for your emotional well-being. So I actually see you taking control and taking action. Or if you aren't taking action, that's something that you are definitely being called to do at the moment. Because I definitely feel like I can see this fire, if that makes sense to you. And the fire is actually about action, like I just mentioned. So there's a lot of fire energy going on for you guys at the moment. So the action, taking action, and being very methodical and having specific goals that you're achieving and needing to see through. I see it's a very practical time for you guys. Like I said, putting things in place that will actually support you and help you solidify your foundation. I see a lot of paperwork being done, possibly legal matters being tied up, and you just, tying up those loose ends of all of the things that you may have been leaving behind before. And like I mentioned, if you haven't been doing these things, that's what you're being called to do. And just taking leadership, taking life in your into your own hands, and taking your control back of the situation or your circumstances, back into the practicality and building a foundation for yourself. Like I said, in all areas of your life. So physical things, what are the building blocks to help you feel physically strong? What are the building blocks to help you feel mentally and emotionally strong? What makes you feel supported? And I feel like you could be challenged with a few things that are coming up. It feels like there's a lot of little things that are coming up. I don't get the feeling like it's just one big solid thing that's in your face. I feel like there's been a domino effect of all these things that have just led to your current circumstance, and you're needing to take that control back, take your power back, and start to sort and organize things so that you can feel more confident and feel supported and feel secure, because that is exactly what your inner child is needing. It's needing support and security right now. I got this sense that you could have felt like, or you could feel like, that things were slipping through your hands, or you're losing your grip, or things are falling away from you in that way, where you felt like a lack of control, or perhaps you weren't taking as much ownership or leadership as what you could have. So now this is the time. Now is the time for action, and that's that fire coming into play as well. I think more than ever you can trust yourself. Because of everything that you've been through, I just sense that you are coming more into that masculine energy for yourself. You're taking control, you're coming into your own leadership. And one thing that came to me was pillars of light. So when I first started to channel this reading for you guys, I was getting this saying pillars of light, and also friendship coming up as well. So it was almost like you are building that foundation, the pillars of light for your life, that keep you strong, that hold you up. So your inner child is actually showing me a symbol, and the symbol that your inner child is showing me is a staff. It's a wooden staff, so it's almost like a magic wand, but it's very simple. And the energy is really talking about being the director of your reality, okay? Being the master magician, being the creator, being the conscious co-creator of everything that you seek. You know, I feel like it's time for you guys to take ownership, working towards those pillars of light, like actually placing each pillar of light. And when I'm talking about pillar of light, I mean something that, like I said, just makes you feel so strong, that holds you up in those times of need. And you know what makes you feel strong. These are your pillars of light. They're very personal to you. White pillars of light could be, you know, people in your life. They could be projects in your life. They could be financial things that you've put in place that help you feel secure, that help you feel supported. So there's a lot of organizing and preparing and taking your control back, and that's really what this image of the staff is. It's a symbol of the fact that you have the power to create, that you have the power to create and consciously create your reality. And this staff is actually this beautiful magic wand that could almost be overlooked as just a simple stick, you know, but it's like your inner child is taking this and saying, look what you have, look at your story, look at where you've come from, look at your strengths. You have what it takes. You have everything that you need to create these pillars of light, to create a strong foundation for yourself, that you can feel supported, that you can be supported to just continue on and keep empowering yourself and live the life that you know that you're meant to live. So how can you enhance your connection with your inner child? So what I pick up for you guys is affirmations, and physical movement is really, really good for you. It's really sense that the need for you to be in actual communication with yourself, and with your inner child, giving yourself that respect, you know, and making sure that you're talking to yourself positively, in a way that is respectful, in the way that you deserve. So the words that you speak to yourself in your mind, or the thoughts that you think of yourself, are actually creating. So you want to be really conscious of the way that you speak to yourself in that way, because you deserve to be reminding yourself just how courageous and brave you really are. You are so powerful, and all of the little things that you might have overlooked, it's time to just really take a step back and see and acknowledge everything that you've created, because I'm just seeing this beautiful field of flowers that you've grown yourself, but perhaps you might not have acknowledged just how deeply, you know, you haven't given yourself that deep gratitude yet. So this is the time for you, and it's going to help you take the action, even more so if you're having trouble taking that action, and being the leader for yourself. So what I want you guys to do, and if it feels right, then definitely start looking up some affirmations, that make you feel strong and centered. So just keep them simple, keep an affirmation very simple, but you'll know when it's the right affirmation for you, because your body will actually respond when you read it. So I'm sensing that you guys are very connected to your gut feeling. So if you get that feeling in your gut when you speak that affirmation, then that is perfect. So you should get a feeling in your gut or in your heart. I'm just feeling around these areas, and then it clears your mind. Then definitely use that. Other good thing, is power postures for you guys. So if you haven't heard of power poses before, it's pretty much standing in a powerful way. It's a really simple way. It gets the blood flowing and moving, and it also helps you strengthen your own posture, but physiologically and psychologically, we feel more powerful when we're standing in these certain postures, and you only have to stand in them for a couple of minutes. So just by going outside or waking up every morning after your cup of tea or whatever, and putting your hands on your hips and your chin up to the sky for a few minutes, or lifting your arms up high like a star, and your palms open and your fingers spread out wide, that is a really great way for embracing life and being in a posture that is powerful. So it's really good for welcoming in life instead of going against it. You're opening up. So great ways to be in power, telling your body that you are in control, telling your body that you are the leader, and it really does shift your mindset. So the oracle card that I actually drew for you guys is called the Guardian of Swords. So this is actually Archangel Michael here, being the protector, being the one who brings forth the light, brings forth the power. So this card is really about you staying true to yourself, staying true to your values and your self-integrity. It's also addressing the healer in you, so the one that self-sacrifices, the one that knows what needs to be healed in others and takes that action. That you yourself, you are a pillar of light yourself. You are part of your own foundation, and you are also a foundation of many other people's as well. And therefore, you need to take extra care of yourself and of your light. Protect yourself. From everything that you've been through, I feel like you really take you take the gold from what could be so dark. And if you haven't known how to do that, I really feel like you're rising into your power in that way, because this card is such perfect symbolism of that. And the sword is also representative of that focus, of the mental focus and the mental clarity of what it takes to rise above and be that leader. So it is in perfect reflection of what we've been speaking today. Okay, group number 2. So what are the messages that your inner child wants you to know? So the theme around your reading today is all about adventure and exploration. So I really feel like you're ready to excavate and go deeper in life. I see there's like this craving of wanting your magic back, wanting to go deeper again and find a new meaning to life. I see you're willing to learn how to break the chains of your past relationships, and release patterns and become better for it. So this is really a beautiful time for you guys. It's about lightness and a time for play and fluidity. So your inner child is like really begging you to stay away from straining and anything to do that, anything that makes you feel stressed out. I got this image that you guys have been honing in on something, absolutely using all of your attention on this space, which can be a positive, but when it comes to your inner child and finding balance, that's where your inner child is wanting to come in and remind you to explore, remind you to find your magic again. So this is all a really good sign, because it's permission. It's permission for you to follow whatever it is that has been tapping you on the shoulder or possibly nagging you, the things that you said that you possibly didn't have time for, or the things that you kind of just let pop out of your mind because you were so focused on honing in on a specific thing that really, in hindsight, hasn't served your heart. It's important that we focus, and I admire you for being able to have that particular type of mental focus on certain things, but your heart now needs to be in balance. There's a time for everything, right? There's a time for focus and honing in and working hard, and it's true, stress is a part of life, but now it's like this part of you is just craving the magic that's already in your heart, because I do sense you're definitely a passionate, magical being. I really do see you guys needing to switch gears and change, shift your priorities so that you can shift your perception. So yeah, really needing that new, fresh outlook, that fresh perspective. So the symbol that your inner child is showing me is actually a book. So this is like, once again, that feeling of adventure, magic, and exploration. Not only getting lost in stories and the books, but actually just getting lost in life again, being able to see life in a playful way again so that you can restore your heart, restore your magic and your sense of wonder for the world. A way to enhance your connection to your inner child is actually by bringing things into your life that remind you to play, things that bring back nostalgia. So what sparks your curiosity, you know? What helps you move towards things that allow you to just let go and dream, not be in restriction or fear? Because I see that it's straining your mind, and you've had to be like that. I definitely see that you've had to go through that period, but now it's just see like shaking off all of this crap and just wanting to run wild into the woods and find a cave and explore it, you know, find the gems that are in your heart, the gems of life again. So what I want you to do is sit down and write a short list of the things that you remember, you know, as a little boy or as a little girl, the things that make you feel the sense of playfulness, that make you that actually spark your curiosity. So what are the things that make you feel happy? What makes you feel transported to another world, where everything feels safe and yummy and beautiful again? So take your time writing the list, you know. It might be just every now and then you remember something that comes to you, that makes you feel nostalgic and you go, oh my gosh, I remember that. Or, you know, just you have certain things that come to you throughout your day, and definitely go back to the list and just add to it, add to this beautiful part of yourself that you're cultivating. So the oracle card that I drew for you is Peter Pan. So it's so fitting and it's such a beautiful card. Now this card is actually just summing up everything that we've spoken about, and it's really about that eternal youth, that connection to your inner child that will always be there. In fact, it's a huge part of you, you know, that laughter, that play, that exploration, that adventure. So the deck that I'm using today is not actually Oracle, it's the Inner Child Tarot deck. But I want to share with you guys, I usually don't do this, but I actually want to read it out to you because this is such a beautiful passage. When this card appears in your reading, move steadily in life and uncover your secret resources. Ride the middle path, a road that eventually turns around completely and takes you home. While it makes sense to strive for safety and security on a day-to-day basis, allow yourself the freedom to dream, fantasize, and be adventuresome. Research the deeper meaning of the ageless wisdom, for Peter Pan is the archetype of eternal youth. Once you have contacted the enchantment of Never Never Land within your soul, you will have opened the door to immortal love. Travel home, to the root of your wisdom. If you believe you can, you will. So how beautiful and telling is that passage in that book. It just goes hand in hand with everything that we've been saying. When I turned the card around, I was like, oh my God, Peter Pan, my heart. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments below. Let me know your insights, and yeah, I will see you next time. Much love. Group number 3, so messages from your inner child. What does your inner child want you to know? And I really feel like for you guys, you're going through a big stage of learning your own independence, learning to be self-reliant and give yourself this this reassurance, your own reassurance. So it's really about personal power for you guys and bringing it back to you. I really feel there's this need for you to be more present with yourself more than ever before. By present, I mean looking at what's going on for you, not being hard on yourself, because that's definitely come up in the channeling as well, that there's this sense that you can be quite hard on yourself, and almost kind of limit yourself or put yourself down, for not always holding yourself in the highest regard, or always being or feeling in the highest light possible, because I do believe that you are very much a healer. You're aware of your own light, and yeah, like I said, you can be almost harder on yourself more than other people, because you know what you're capable of, you know the light that you bring, but that pressure that you're putting on yourself is actually straining your relationship with yourself. I'm also seeing that it's a good time to start to slow down. I see your wheels just slowly turning, beginning to slow down. So it's really great if you're starting to already kind of slow things down, because you might be just really realizing, okay, it's time to go in, it's time to take stock for a little bit. It's like your inner child is wanting you to turn back to things that really matter for you, turn back to the core of what your values are in life. Just get this sense that you're bringing lots of things in, which is fantastic. That is also a really big positive thing. But at the same time, if it's spreading you thin, then you need to prioritize and put yourself first. Make sure that you are number one. And that's that coming back to that whole being able to be self-reliant, and you can't rely on yourself when you're constantly putting more on your plate or being that person for everybody else all the time. There has to be some form of balance so that you can be restored, and rebuild the relationship with yourself again. Because once again, I'm being pulled back to talk about that compassionate part of yourself, finding that compassionate mother archetype and the compassionate father archetype in you that can hold that space for the vulnerable parts that do come up, and they come up naturally. So it's not something that you should ever be ashamed of or be hard on yourself for, because it is a part of our human experience. And I'm just getting strongly that the message that when you do go deeper, and I feel like you know this, when you do go deeper into understanding your insecurities, or even understanding your own inner workings on how you deal with yourself in times like that, that you come out so much stronger. Like, I just get this sense that it's time for you to kind of go into your hub, and cocoon yourself so you can come back out with the wisdom and be a stronger light, be a stronger beacon for yourself, and your aspirations, and also the people around you, because I know that you do hold that space for others as well. The symbol that your inner child is actually showing me is this beautiful yellow star. So I really feel like there's a few things around, a few meanings around this star, but what I did get is that it's this focal point. It's coming back to the focal point, which is you, which is your heart, and allowing that to guide you, because this star I do see in this dark night, it's like standing out, it's that guiding part of you. It's your intuition, that you can trust yourself and you can keep being pulled towards it, and follow that unapologetically, follow that in spontaneously, in a way that makes you feel free. And the message that I'm getting is just follow the star, keep following it, keep following that guiding light, because it is there and it is so present in your life. It's been there when you have been through the hardest times. It's always been there. There's always been this star in the darkness of night. And that could be also the way that you view things, because you're a strong person, that you've always held on to that strength, that star, and allowed that part to guide you. And look where it's taken you. So you should be very, very proud of yourself for how far you've come. As I mentioned before, you are a healer, and you have this way with energy, with your heart space, of bringing comfort and hope, which is so special. And I think it's time for you, if you haven't already, to really start to dive into those abilities and start learning more about those parts of you, your spiritual self, your energetic self, and your emotional self. It's and like I said, going into that cave, how I mentioned, and just falling into your hub and just immersing yourself in yourself. It's a great time for you to do that, to read and study. So it's like self-inquiry, and this is you really getting in touch with your independence, straying away from having to be attached to other people as well, or other situations. It's time to disengage from that and identify back with yourself once again, so you can reconnect with yourself, be the one that gives yourself that reassurance. So it's a really independent time for you, especially if you're going through a lot of new things or you're feeling vulnerable. You do have the strength. You've got the guiding star to help you and guide you to where you need to go. So trust in that, trust in your abilities, and trust in your abilities because you are supposed to be doing healing work. It might not be in the form of what you think, but a healing element definitely is going to be almost ingrained in your life. So I feel like it's a natural part of you and you give it away so easily. And now I think it's time to give it back to yourself. Go deeper into study to enhance and harness your abilities so that you can give it to the world in a meaningful way where you get something back as well, because that is so important for us light workers, is that what we give out, we are receiving as well. And I think it's time for you to do that for yourself. So a perfect stepping stone is happening at the moment. I can see you moving into a new healing phase. So the card that I drew for you, so these aren't actually oracle cards. I've been saying they're oracle cards, but they're actually tarot cards. So they're inner child fairy tale tarot, sorry. The one that I drew for you is actually the fairy godmother. So she's the guide of hearts. It's a really, really beautiful card. And once again, it just amazes me how much it just syncs up with everything that we've been saying. So this is calling upon the healer in you, the abundant creativity and love that you have to give and spread out to the world. It's a really beautiful gift that you have, that this ability to almost be like a fairy godmother. You just give and give generously to the world in your own way. And similar to the symbol of the star, you're just able to turn something that could be so dark into gold, into something so light. And I wanted to read you this passage. I usually don't read passages of the description of the cards, but there is something in here and I just want to share that with you just in case you can get something from this, because it is such a beautiful tarot deck, this one, and yeah, it's very special. When the good fairy appears in your reading, love is being sent to you by invisible helpers and angelic spirits. Don't despair if a problem seems unresolvable. Believe in yourself. Quiet your mind and let an intuitive answer materialize within your imagination. A symbol, an archetype, or a special person may be your link to happiness. Remember the old saying, home is where the heart is. Realize that you are a good fairy at heart. Your soothing words, gentle touch, or inspirational example can lead a friend or loved one out of darkness into light. How beautiful is that? So that's really, once again, about what we've been talking about, but it's about finding that balance, that equilibrium within yourself so you can give back in that way, so you can be the beacon that you were born to be. So the main messages from your inner child as well was really about creating certainty and consistency as an independent person, as a light worker. So it's as if your inner child is wanting you to take more care of yourself. So I hope that you got something from today, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you in the comments to hear about your personal insights of what you took away from today. Thank you so much, group number 3. I will see you next time. So group number 4, what are your messages from your inner child? What does your inner child want you to know? So I really feel like you guys are going through a massive time of change now. It might not look like things are changing on the outside, but I just see so much shifting in you, a lot of contemplating, a lot of moving energy. I see that you're in a stage of moving on and releasing your own restraints, releasing limitations. So you may have been going through a lot of doubt or feeling a lot of fear or anxiety and just closing off from life because of the things that are coming up for you. But what I'm seeing is actually these feelings, these perhaps surprising feelings that have come up for you are actually going to lead you to more fulfillment. So if some of you have actually chosen to take a break from something, which was a huge part of my channeling. I want to let you know that this is going to prove to be very beneficial for you guys mentally and emotionally. I was also given an image of you just being taken by this river, a river of energy, just moving you along. What I get from that is it's almost like life is moving you into the places where you need to be, even if you can't 100% foresee that now. I actually do think that you can see that. I think that there's a big part of you that understands what's going on and knows that you're being called to open and show yourself, to show up for yourself, because the main theme for your inner child, which what your inner child is showing me, is actually that they want to be heard and seen. So they actually don't want you to suppress or close off or hide how you feel or hide your voice. They're wanting you to validate yourself and be a shining expression of what you already know. Because life is just pulling you down this current and it's moving you towards where you need to go. It's almost like it's pushed you towards a few crossroads where you've had to stop and make a decision and have to really figure out what's right for you, how you want to move forward, and where you want to go from here, what your life is going to look like with making these huge decisions that you've had to. I see you kind of wanting to take some time to decide, but life is not giving you that chance. It's pushing you, it's ushering you in to where you need to be, like I keep saying. So it's almost like you're not given that chance, but it's because you should trust yourself. You already know what you need. You just need to be the one to step into that and express it, express the yes or express the no. So showing up for yourself is huge at the moment, because it's almost like that's all you need. You don't need to worry about what's right and what's wrong. I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, because I just get the feeling that it's in your body. You already know what you need to do. You just might not have been 100% clear on it based on a few other things that you're going through. But I just see there's this almost a veil between what you know and what you aren't doing anything about. So you need to act upon what it is that you are going to decide for yourself, because that's that part of being seen, being heard, and being that expression that I've said earlier. As I've been channeling your inner child, there's this beautiful resonance there. So your inner child was saying to me, like, I already know, I already feel held, I already feel known, but your inner child is almost like wanting you to take the next step, and have the courage to speak your truth, to act upon your truth, so that part of you can be heard and seen. So it's a really great time for creating boundaries for you guys as well. And this is all natural. It goes hand in hand with everything that I've been saying, from you guys having to be just taken by this current, this river of energy and of life, where it's just putting you at these crossroads where you have to decide quite quickly and on your feet, and just trust in yourself, trust in the moment. And yeah, I can really see that you're differentiating yourself from people, from situations, and you're disengaging or disidentifying with things that you once thought made you or gave you worth. I can see you're like drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, this is where I am, you are you, I am me. And in that there is so much power. And I do feel that's why your inner child already feels known, it feels held, it just wants you and is ready for you to move into that state of completely being seen and feeling heard. So you speaking that truth that I mentioned earlier. So the symbol that your inner child gave me first was a flower, which is really beautiful. It was very soft and gentle. But then the horse came to me, and so it was this really strong, powerful horse running in the wind. And what I get for you is don't run against the wind. Don't run against it. Run with it, because the wind is what's carrying you. Allow it to. Don't fight against it, because everything is in your favor. You might not be able to foresee it right now, or I really feel like things are going to eventuate in such a beautiful way for you that you might not even be able to fathom right now. I get that you can't see what's on the other side of the mountain or the hill, and you need to run towards it. I'm feeling that so strongly. This is a really powerful transmission for you guys. I hope that you're feeling it, the power of this beautiful horse that your inner child is giving to you as a gift and a reminder of who you are and the strength that you actually have. So the card that I picked for you guys today is actually a tarot card. So this is the Inner Child Tarot deck. I've had it for many years, and I might have said that it was the Oracle, but it's, yeah, like I said, it's actually the Tarot. And the Two of Swords, I really want to actually read out the description to you, because it really sums up exactly what we've been talking about, and it's the cards that I've been pulling out and how they connect so closely to exactly what your inner child has been saying has just been beautiful. So anyway, I usually wouldn't do this. I just channel the card, but for this time there's almost no need to. It'd be nice to read it out to you. So let's do that now. This card offers the perspective that our mental conflicts can be experienced as a sport in which balance and wholeness are a priority. All of life is divided into opposites, yin and yang, male, female, light, dark, joy and sorrow. We must know one side in order to learn its polar complement. The crossed swords represents mental conflict. The radiant sun behind the swords is a reminder of the wholeness that overlights any form of dualism. It may be a time in your life where you are making new decisions or seeking for answers to old problems. Move toward your light and wisdom, and let the answers emerge like a great sunrise. Allow old worries to sink into the past. Clarity will come as you gently yield to the moment. How beautiful is that? So let that sink in. I hope that those messages and that connection to your inner child really fulfilled you today in some way, shape, or form. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your personal insights in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys next time.